It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. Welcome to the first video for Dumbed Down Tech. My name's Alan, and I wasn't quite sure what to do for the first video for the channel. So I eventually decided to make things nice and easy for myself and do something I haven't done before. So today we're going to build a home server. Parts wise, as you see, there's an assortment of parts. The bulk of it came from a cheap eBay find, and the rest was pretty much just scavenged from what I had laying around. Everything you see here, including the case, cost under £200 or around $250 US. Anyway, let's have a closer look at what I've got in front of me. Right, let's have a little look what we're actually going to be putting in this system. So at the heart, obviously we've got motherboard, which is an MSI Z97 Gaming 5 ATX board, and that is going to be housing an i5 4690K 4-core 4-thread CPU. Not the best, but it should be more than adequate. Functionality of the board, we've obviously got a slot for an NVMe drive. Not going to use that, as we lose a couple of SATA ports. Got 6 SATA ports and I want to use them all, as you'll see. Lots of PCI slots, which is handy. 4 DIMM slots, and even an LCD display for error coding. As for rear I/O, we have a number of USB ports, HDMI, a couple of legacy display ports, and your basic sound ports. So not a bad board overall. Now, to keep the beast of the CPU cool, we have a Cooler Master Evo cooler. So we've got 4 direct contact heat pipes, copper, as you can see. It's overkill for the CPU, and of course 120 fan. For the memory side of things, we've got 2 4GB sticks of DDR3 HyperX Fury running 1866 MHz. Again, got 4 DIMM slots on motherboard, so we can upgrade that a bit later. As for power, we have the Corsair semi-modular CX600M power supply. Way overkill. The system I got off eBay actually had a GTX 970 in, which is going to be used elsewhere. That was included in the price I stated earlier. As for drives, we're going to go with a Kingston 240GB 2.5 SSD as the boot drive, and a Sino 2.5 SSD 1TB drive for any programs and ripping that we might use the Blu-ray drive for, if that even works. For the server part, a selection of mechanical drives. We've got 2 3.5-inch drives, 1 Western Digital 1TB, a Hitachi 3TB, and then a selection of 2.5s. We've got 2 Western Digital 1TB drives, a couple of 640s, and a selection of 500s. I'm not sure how many of the 500s I'm going to utilise, as I want to be able to expand upon this. It's going to be done in a RAID setup, which again, never done, so that's going to be a journey. And to connect all these drives, we have a PCIe SATA expansion card. This one's a 10 port. I've never used one of these, so Voyager discovery time. And on the expansion side, so we've got PCIe Wi-Fi card, just to make connectivity that little bit easier. That's pretty much what we've got. I say a couple of extra fans over there. So I suppose we better have a little look at the case. Right, so this is the case we're going to build the system into. As said earlier, it's a Fractal Design R5 case. It's about 10 years old. and it does have some battle scars for that. Obviously some of the grommets are a little bit worn, and the courier this time round decided he didn't like the shape of it. So the side panels are tricky to get on and off, and the thumb screws are extremely difficult to get tightened up to any kind of level you would like. On the other point, we've got some nice dents to it. The power supply had come, power button had come out, so that's now a nice bit of felt. Yeah, but it's still more than usable. So on the inside, we have mountings for up to an ATX motherboard. Obviously, all of top I/O. Speaking of the top I/O, we got a couple of USB 2 ports, a couple of USB 3, headphone, microphone, and reset button. For kind of functionality, power supply will go here. I'm probably going to put one of the 120 NZXT fans in the bottom here, one at the back. Don't need to worry so much about the front, because hidden behind door number 1, we have 2 fractal design 140mm fans. Now they'll be blowing straight onto the drives, which will be handy. Obviously Blu-ray drive will go up there. Now every panel has this sound deadening material, and oh yeah, does filter underside. Even on all the interior panels is this material for sound deadening, so this machine should be whisper quiet. I could do a 120 or 140mm fan on the side. I don't think it needs it, to be honest. So put that over there. Now, why I wanted this, as you can see, is the drive base. We've got 2 3.5 slots at the top, so one will take the Blu-ray, and then we have all of these. Now they all come out fractal, just to mix things up. Gone with white, same with some of the back, and as you see, they just slide in and out. In total, could do 10 drives there, but it's going to be plenty. These are all thumb screws, so these whole cages can completely come out if you didn't want to use them. In my case, I definitely do. So round the back, as I said, not exactly the shape you want. More sound deadening again. Go down there, don't fall over. Now we've got all our cabling for the top I/O. That will all be done nice and neat during the build, but we have a couple more drive placements. So this will obviously be for the boot drive and the storage drive for the system, away from kind of the server side. Big cutout so you can get to the back of the motherboard if you ever want to change cooler, so make things a little bit easier. Really, there's not much else to say about the case. Already installed the I/O shield at the back, and there goes one of the feet. Fix that later. And you know, this case could pretty much just take whatever you threw at it. So let's throw a system in there. It's done. It is finally done. This has taken longer than I honestly thought it would. The bulk of the time taken to get this system built was actually getting the cabling right, getting the cabling so that I could actually close the panel. As you see, the cable management is not my best, nowhere near my best, but it fits, it works, it's as systematic as I could make it. Obviously, the bulk of the problems came from the amount of cabling for the drives and the power. And if I had one complaint of the case, it needs more room to channel the cabling at the back. But anyway, so what we've ended up with is I've split the drives into two different RAID setups. So we've got the top RAID, which equals nearly 12 terabytes of storage, and then the bottom part is a separate RAID, which is about 2.5 terabytes. I decided to split it so that I can upgrade the bottom drives to surpass the 12 terabyte in the top. Then I will be able to back up the top to the bottom section and then upgrade the top as time goes on. If I'd done it as just one complete thing, then I'd have had to find numerous drives to try and back up onto and then rebuild it. I really don't want to do that. As for cooling, we did go for the 140s in the front. That they are being controlled by the case controller and are keeping the drives nice and cool. We managed to get the 120 in the bottom, the 120 at the back, and then what with the cooler, the CPU is running nice and cool. On idle, the CPU is at 28 degrees C, and under load, it's only going up to about 36. I will say, I don't like the cooler. To me, there's too much sag, and mounting it was not the easiest of jobs. But it is an older cooler, and it does what it's supposed to do. The SATA card, now that performs really well. I was surprised because I've got a 1 terabyte SSD on the back, 2.5 regular SSD SATA, and transferring a 10 gig file from that to the setup, it's maxing out on the read. So it'll be interesting once this system goes on the network, see if I can max out an NVMe drive to see really what performance I can get. And as you saw from the build video with Windows, so easy to set up the drives, absolutely fine. And really, that's about it. I mean, the next job, dismantle the living room and try and get it hidden. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Anyway, look, if you liked this video, please throw us a like and subscribe for more content. Thank you.